Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy new year. They are thankful for many things from 2023 and hope that 2024 brings prosperity for you and starts off well for everyone in your life. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a new spot to relax and unwind? The Post, located on the south side of the Telegraph District on the corner of 20th and N Street, is perfect for a group hangout or a relaxing evening. The Post has plenty of exciting events open to the public, like Whiskey Wednesday and poker tournaments on Sundays. Looking for a spot for a private event? Ask them about their indoor patio. The Post, located at 20th and N Street in Lincoln.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly sunny skies. We'll see the afternoon high of around 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with patchy fog is possible late. We'll see a low around 20. And tomorrow, more patchy, even freezing fog possible as well, especially in the morning. Then mainly sunny skies with the high around 35. Meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights. I am Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. This is the Don't Punt Hour. And again, if you guys want to join the show, as always, the Sartor Heyman text line is always open for you guys, 402-464-5685. Feel free to chime in that way. Or again, if you want to put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. Always a great way to watch on those streams as well. Plenty of things to talk about: college football, NFL, Nebraska basketball, as well as maybe even a little bit of recruiting news. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and bring in the host as always. Good morning, Pearsonell. Happy New Year, and how's it going, man? Good morning. Did we lose you by chance?
No, I'm on here.
Oh, yeah. Happy New Year, man. How's it going?
Happy New Year to you as well. It's all right.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out where do you want to start with this. We had a awesome weekend of college football. I think when it comes to college football semifinals or college football playoffs, just want to call it CFB playoffs, that's probably the best two games you could have asked for. I know a lot of people were hurt about Florida State not getting in, but a blowout loss when you only score 3 points to Georgia 63. I think a lot of people are going to feel better about the argument that Florida State didn't necessarily belong. But to you, through all of these college football games, even some of the lesser bowl games, what are some of the things you picked up, and what bowl game to you was particularly interesting?
The Florida State Georgia game, actually. They had 20, I think it was either 20 or over 20 players sit out for that game. So I think that's the reason why you have the score of what it is. I don't think that's a true reflection of what that game could have been when you have kids, sitting out because of their futures, which I'm not mad at, or I completely understand. Georgia had decided, their players decided, that they wanted to play it up. Good for them. Other than that game, I would say Texas shocked me. I feel like they gave that game away, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they put 1 second back on the clock,
I got that on my notes. Nightmares.
I'm surprised that no mention or anything happened from when it happened in 2009. But I was just like, please, no, not this again. Come on, any other game or other team than to put 1 second back on the clock. They get exactly what they want and they go to a national championship. I'm like, that had me on the edge of my chair. Other than that, it was a pretty solid week of football.
Yeah, I'm glad because yes, the 1 second left for Texas, I was like, you got to be kidding me. How many times does this happen for Texas where magically, I shouldn't say magically, this time I'm a lot more understanding about where the second came from. But yeah, I won't quite get over 2009. Just to see them in that exact same opportunity, it was kind of similar. And luckily this time around, they're not able to get the job done. Flash forward to thank God. I would have been sick. I would have felt pretty good about Michigan's chances against Texas because you talked about it. I was impressed by Washington. We had some texters on the last show with Amon Green. The physicality did not seem to be a problem for Washington at all. It helps when you have a quarterback and Michael Penix Jr. throwing it on a dot, who's good in the pocket, who doesn't need a ton of time in there. But defensively as well, they were not letting Texas get comfortable on just about pretty much all game long. It really was a little bit reminiscent of the the Alabama and Michigan game where things really started to seem to open up in that second half. But give your hats off to Washington. I think Michael Penix Jr. put another case. I know the Heisman Award is over and it's been handed off, but Michael Penix Jr. might have looked like the best quarterback in the college football playoffs right now, just the way he was playing. And then you look at that Michigan game versus Alabama. I don't think Milroe. I think Milroe is getting too much heat for that game. I know it was a bad game. I know he took 6 sacks. I think that's more predicated on Michigan's ability to stop the run and put you in 3rd and longs. And that's just a tough ask for a quarterback when that pass rush gets there in a blink of an eye. He just didn't have a ton of time back there. And then, of course, I don't know what was going on with the center struggles. I think that last play of the game was not supposed to be an inside run where Milroe looked like he just kind of hit him, surprised him a little bit higher than it was supposed to, threw the whole timing off. And to me, it looked like he just tucked it and ran it. But what were you seeing out of Bama's quarterback problems? Where do you think that really stemmed from? Was that just bad offensive line play? Milroe not mentally there? What to you were the biggest struggles?
I think Michigan did a good job of neutralizing his first and second reads. The things that he did well and often would be his safety net, they did a good job of taking those away. They did a good job of getting to him. I'm not sure if it was just, bad offensive line play, but I mean, their offensive line
They were
wasn't
getting beat,
necessarily
at least on the
as
edges.
huh?
They were getting beat on the edges.
I don't think their offensive line was as dominant as we've seen them. But that game that was played, like you've seen them do that against other teams and earlier in the season. So I'm not putting it all on the quarterback. I don't know what they were really trying to do. I thought Michigan would have a bit more struggle with his ability to run, and I thought they would utilize that a little bit more, and they didn't. So I mean, great job by Michigan. They took late in the game. I thought Michigan was going to lose it, but they were just spotty off and on, and then late, they got consistent, and the momentum switched, and Bama just couldn't recover it. The return guy, ooh, that one, I would hate to be him if it had went the other way.
Yeah, it was one of those things with Alabama's whole offense the entire night. I wonder if they look at their offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, you give him some of the blame coming from Notre Dame. Obviously, he was a player there as well. The game plan just felt like it never was fully clicking for Alabama. Again, I'll just keep going to those 3rd and longs. It just felt like every single time Alabama was looking at a 3rd and long, you knew Michigan was about to take over with some momentum because they were getting a tackle for a loss, a sack, or a tackle at the line of scrimmage. It felt like bare minimum every single time, or a few times, just right before the sticks. But the momentum for Alabama was non-existent, and I thought it was just unfortunate. Again, I keep talking about Milroe. I just really don't think you could put the entire game on him. The center woes were unique. It reminded me of Cam Jurgens, but that was understandable because he was learning on the job. You kind of anticipated some of those things. For Alabama, that just happened then in that game at the worst possible moment. You heard one of the Michigan defensive tackles talking about it. It was weird. He just stopped talking. He didn't say anything. Even they noticed like what's going on with the snapping woes here. Have you ever seen like a meltdown at a position like that you can actually remember? Because I really think that was crucial, because if your center can't snap the ball to you on time, that's going to throw off so many of your emotions. It's going to throw off your last chance to win the game there, or at least send it to another overtime because of the timing was off. I mean, how big of a deal do you think that was for the Alabama Crimson Tide?
That was a huge blow. You're not only fighting, 11 guys across you, but, y'all are supposed to be a unit, and y'all can't even, what the snap count is. Like, they literally say it to you, 15, 20 seconds before you go out there and snap it. And yet it was still something off and everything like that. I've never seen, a situation happen like that with a player. I've seen bad games from receivers or a DB or somebody just, have a one-off game or something like that. But, that was a little bit different. I've never seen it from an offensive lineman.
Yeah, and Seth McLaughlin, I mean, he's been good too. McLaughlin he had a great season up to, I think he started pretty much halfway or got a few starts, I want to say last season as well. And it's pretty much been his role, and he's been good. He's been solid in that role. And I think that had to play a huge part, and it's going to look bad on the OC. It's going to look bad on the quarterback. It's going to look bad on Saban. But we've seen that here at Nebraska. When you are fighting against your own snap count and it's throwing off any sort of movements you're having, it just kills you. You're playing with motions to get the linebackers off you. Well, the timing's off. The linebacker's already adjusted. That cute play action, whatever you just drew up, is already ineffective because the timing's just been thrown off that bad. So I thought it played a pretty big factor in there. And again, if you guys got any comments, join the show, 402-464-5685, as we got Demorne Pearsonell, former Husker, on the Allo VIP line. Again, where they understand the importance of local service, or when they understand the importance of local service with an exceptional heart. So again, shout out Allo for all the great work they do for us here at the 1040 Ticket Studios. A few other games I want to dive into you with Demorne Pearsonell. Iowa, a real thriller for Iowa as they play number 25 Tennessee. They lose that one 35-0. It was ugly. I wasn't expecting it to be that ugly. Initial thoughts, Iowa, poor showing out of all the Big Ten teams so far. Wisconsin pushing LSU, I think got a lot of people excited. Northwestern, we talked about them taking down Utah. Rutgers finds a way. Maryland, all these Big Ten teams playing great. Iowa, the team who comes out of the Big Ten West, lays an absolute egg. Scored just as many points as Nebraska did bowling this year. Initial thoughts, Iowa losing to Tennessee with a goose egg at the end of the game.
Happy New Year. I knew that they would have offensive struggles. I'm not surprised that has happened. It was just one of those games where it's like, all right, I've had enough of this and turn it off. They've made coaching changes at the OC, and they might, I don't know who they have coming in there next year or whatever, but good luck to that. But it was not pretty at all. Was not impressed, and it just, I turned the game off as quickly as possible. Honestly, like it from probably I say somewhat in the second quarter. Maybe I was just like, okay, this is not. I wasn't feeling it at all. It's very bland. Like nothing was working at all, and it just they had no momentum. It was no moving forward or anything like that, and Tennessee just took advantage.
Yep, Deacon Hill in that game, 7 for 18. Nothing really surprising there. Deacon Hill, I don't think people had too many high hopes on him having an awesome game. I think they're just looking for a game manager, but the 2 interceptions on top, that's really going to hurt any sort of managing of the game. I watched probably more than I should have. Maybe I was a little sick doing it, watching the Iowa internal screaming that was going on. Hard game to watch. I think that's definitely going to hurt them in recruiting, as odd as it is to say. It feels like one of the few times bowling can go wrong for you, because you got to imagine they got recruits that were looking at that game that are going to play for that offense in the future. And they're seeing a team that currently, as it sits, unless you're having those conversations with the front office, I don't know which direction this offense is going to go. I don't know what they're going to want to be. But with the Big Ten expanding, the SEC expanding, who knows where Florida State ends up? They're knocking on all the major conferences' doors. Well, I should say the 2 doors in the Big Ten and SEC, begging to let one of them in. And if you get Florida State, I'm sure you'll see the likes of a Clemson possibly sneak in there as well to even it out. So I still think there's a chance for Florida State to get one of these conferences. They're going to keep banging on doors until somebody lets them in. But as we're talking about the expansion of these conferences, that's why Iowa, I think you might be hurting for recruits if you cannot discover an offensive identity for yourselves, because it feels like everyone right now in the Big Ten through these bowl games, it's been a great year for the Big Ten. Because now you look at Northwestern, you look at Wisconsin, you look at Maryland, you look at all these Big Ten teams who maybe didn't have any sort of spotlight, and they go to these bowl games. They don't not only play well, but they're winning most of them. So now you have that confidence. You got Michigan, who's got a good shot at winning the college football playoffs.
I think they're
it's
winning.
Going to get good.
Me personally,
I'm with you there. I think they win it. And again, that's what I'm saying. As this Big Ten looks more competitive, if you're an Iowa team floundering, you can't afford it. So thank God, for Nebraska having the recruiting hits they did this offseason, because not going bowling, I think, did really hurt. But if you can come back next season with some more players, some more star talent, you're not going to be anywhere near Alabama, obviously, or Georgia, or even Texas, Washington, Oregon. You're going to be a few tiers below that. But even just a Penn State level, that's flirting around the 12-team playoff bracket. That's what you're going to need, because with this competition going to be getting more intense year after year, if Iowa continues to play Big Ten West style football the way they have been, I don't know if that's a 9 wins guaranteed team anymore. I think they have a lot of struggles in the upcoming future. But let's talk about this Michigan. You said you think they're going to win. I have similar thoughts, but what to you is giving Michigan the edge over Washington in this matchup?
The way that Texas was running the ball late and throughout the whole game, that's Michigan's bread and butter. And Texas lost that game themselves with the fumbles and the turnovers and everything like that, and the missed opportunities. If you allow Texas to do that, and Michigan has Blake Corum, who's a 2-time All-American. I'm nervous for what he's going to do to that defense. I think the physicality will be a bit too much for Washington. Credit Washington. They did handle their own, but they were still giving up big runs left and right, and Texas just didn't capitalize when they were moving. Something happened, or they didn't connect on some throws and everything like that. And I think Michigan will capitalize a lot better than Texas will, and I think it's going to be a field day for Blake Corum.
Yeah, I think it's going to go one of two ways, right? We're going to look at it as the year that Michigan was by far the most dominant team. They beat a very good Alabama team who managed to beat Georgia after a 29-game winning streak. Or I think we possibly look at it as Michael Penix Jr. is one of the better quarterbacks we've seen and had one of the best college football games we've seen. Because I think that's the key for them. I don't feel good about Washington being able to stop Corum down. That guy has been a monster all season long. He talked about not being able to be in the playoffs last season. That chip on his shoulder was pretty evident. I thought he ran the ball very well. And it's not like they don't.
He caught the ball well. He was hard to tackle.
He reads the holes extremely well.
To keep things rolling and everything like that, he stepped up to the plate along with other players. I think Michigan's defense is going to be a bit much for Washington offense to handle. The Washington quarterback is going to probably have to play the best game of his life, I think, to have a chance.
That's where I'm with you. Any sort of third and long, I keep stressing that because it was brutal to watch for the Crimson Tide. It just no time back there. Even if you want to throw it underneath, they're giving it to you. But, they were sitting right on top of the sticks, making sure you weren't going to be able to cross. So you're going to have to be able to buy yourself time, which he's been able to do. But then you got to throw it on a dot against a team who's very exceptional at taking picks out of the air. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be that Michael Penix Jr. game, or we'd look back and say, I don't think it was really that hard to look at this Michigan team as the best team in college football with Blake Corum, despite, Jim Harbaugh being out, didn't affect the team that much. They've blown out
cheating allegations.
Yep. It just hasn't really seemed to phase them. If anything, it added to that, cohesiveness of that locker room. So I think it's going to be the Michael Penix Jr. game, or what I think more likely is going to happen is we look at Michigan as the champion this year before we break into the 12-team playoff bracket. With that being said, though, say Michigan, they do it. They go on. They manage to beat Washington. They're the college football champions. Is Jim Harbaugh staying?
I don't think so.
Is there any spot in the NFL that you think he'd be particularly looking at it? We just heard Eberflus sounds like he's staying, which surprised me. So Chicago, that spot's not going to be open like I thought it was.
If I'm him, it would be either the Raiders or the Chargers. And I mean, he's a defensive guy, and if I'm looking at it and everything like that, you have with the Chargers, you have a awesome star cast on defense. You got 2-3 pieces on that team that are gonna be strong pieces with moving forward. The Chargers have had a Super Bowl contending team, and they just haven't been able to get over the hump. And if you bring a Jim Harbaugh in there to what he brings to the table with, being and played already in a Super Bowl and, coming off of a rebuilding, a Michigan, the Michigan, Wolverines and everything like that. I think if you give him, 2-3 years at the most, I mean, that they might be, top dog in the AFC.
Yeah. To me, I think he'd land up at possibly, I think the Raiders are going to keep Pierce. That's kind of the way I feel like it'd be hard to get rid of him after the locker room has really grown and adapted around him. Feels like we've seen that happen before, particularly on an Eagles team where it all really went to hell as soon as it happened. So I think it'd be maybe the Chargers. I'm very surprised with the Bears keeping Eberflus. It makes me curious about what they're looking at going forward. Maybe that's a sign they're keeping Fields, but nonetheless, I don't think Bill Belichick's going anywhere. You're hearing that pop up more and more. I think it would be a mistake to, unless you do have that clear successor, I should say, would be the key word there, that can actually fill that role that you feel confident with, that isn't going to be an experiment. I don't think a Patriots team right now can afford an experiment unless you're totally okay with just flushing everything Bill Belichick put into that culture and just clearing it out in one sweep. If that's the route you want to go, you can. I just feels like that goes wrong a lot more times than it goes right. The grass is always greener. That's happened a lot, especially with the teams that I consistently watch. So be careful with that one. You're going to wipe away a lot of culture. That comes up more and more. Bill Belichick says, you'll see it on my face. That's a tough read. He's got pretty good poker face trying to read what Bill Belichick's ever thinking. But with that being said, I think it's going to be the Chargers. I think if you went anywhere, it'd probably have to be the Chargers. That's a quarterback who he's been quoted saying he loves Herbert.
The Washington Commanders job will be open. I mean, that's not terrible, but out of the all, I feel like, another 2 coaches might get fired, the Atlanta coach, potentially. I think all around of like what you have in the building, you have your franchise quarterback. You have, your wide receiver 1, 2, and arguably, your wide receiver 3. You got a decent tight end. They've been competing, and like I said, they just haven't gotten over the hump. And like I said, the all-star defense, for a person like Jim Harbaugh, if he wants, to make a splash, leaving the Midwest, going back to, sunny California, why not?
Yeah, he's definitely got pieces there, right? You're still keeping Herbert. You still got Allen, Keenan Allen at that. You still got Khalil Mack, an absolute beast on the defensive side of the ball at linebacker. And, of course, Austin Eckler, great running back. There's a lot of pieces there. So, to me, that's a job where if you want to come in and not have the Panthers experience where everyone's like, oh, my gosh, this new head coach sucks, and you're looking around the room thinking, this is the team you gave me. I don't care who you bring in here. This is going to be a long haul season. I think this would be a room where you don't have to go through that period of couch coaching where everyone's just upset at you and not necessarily understanding the circumstances of the roster. If he came into the Chargers, that's a team that I do think it's been the coaching. It's been going for it at inopportune times, consistently trying to figure out what Herbert's going to be, whether you want to be this heavy passing team. You start finding ways that becomes a 50-50 game with Eckler in the mix, really good in the red zone. And then it all just kind of fizzles out with no true identity. It doesn't feel like they have any real plays they can go to on a consistent basis to get yards. Maybe that's just a development of Justin Herbert too. And I know Jim Harbaugh's been talking. He's had a few quotes that he really does like Justin Herbert, one of his favorite QBs to kind of watch in the NFL. With that being said, though, we do got to go ahead and throw it to our first break here on the Don't Punt Hour. We got Demorne Pearsonell on the Allo VIP line. Harrison back at the 1040 Ticket Studios. Don't go anywhere.
Are you looking for a new spot to relax and unwind? The Post, located on the south side of the Telegraph District on the corner of 20th and N Street, is perfect for a group hangout or a relaxing evening. The Post has plenty of exciting events open to the public, like Whiskey Wednesday and poker tournaments on Sundays. Looking for a spot for a private event? Ask them about their indoor patio. The Post, located at 20th and N Street in Lincoln.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy new year. They are thankful for many things from 2023 and hope that 2024 brings prosperity for you and starts off well for everyone in your life. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
School taught you all about the four seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's the way we really tell what time of year it is in sports seasons: football season, baseball season, or off season. But what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now. And now, and now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolateseason.com.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-week challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Letting your children know you believe in them will go a long way toward making their dreams a reality. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. It's important to celebrate learning. Focus on the positives, reinforce good effort and determination. Children need your encouragement and support. Our public schools want every student to succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. Harrison Arns back at the 1040 Ticket Studios on the ones and twos. Host, as always, DeBornay Pearsonell, former Husker, streaming in calling in on the Allo VIP line. Host of the show, as always. And again, if you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685 is the Sartor Heyman text line. I do want to get to a few more things here. We were talking about the NFL. The Miami Dolphins took an absolute beat down to the Baltimore Ravens. It felt like another good opportunity for this Miami team to kind of be able to prove themselves in their championship caliber status. But they would take a brutal loss, losing it, as I try to pull up the final score here, 56-19. Arguably one of the worst losses for the Dolphins so far in this NFL regular season. A week 17 loss. They got 1 week left, but heading into this game, Miami was always a team that always beat the teams they're supposed to beat, would occasionally beat a team that was quote unquote just as good at them, or if not better. Do the panic alarms sound for Miami Dolphins? Obviously, they'll still be able to make the playoffs. They'll still probably be maybe make a little bit of noise, but how serious are you taking this team as a true Super Bowl caliber roster?
I think they are a Super Bowl caliber roster. It hurts that Chubb is not going to be there. I think he was a pivotal piece Not only do they have not have him, they don't have the Phillips kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think he went to Miami, if I'm not mistaken, Miami or Florida State. Well, one of the Florida schools. So that's a blow for them. They kind of remind me of the Bills when the Bills were going up against the Chiefs earlier in Mahomes' career before he won the Super Bowls. But that path on there to where they had the team, but they just quite couldn't get over the hump. And I feel like that they're that type of team. Like they're a divisional, opponent. They can get to the AFC Championship. Not too sure if I don't think that they'll get to the Super Bowl this year. But I think within the next few years and whatnot, I think it's going to be something serious with them. I like them a lot. I just don't. The Ravens are just too much to handle right now. Lamar is just playing at an unbelievable level. They're in their own category of their own, and there isn't anybody close to them at all.
Yeah.
So I think the Super Bowl goes through them, honestly.
I tried to give people the tip off earlier in the season at Warhorse Casino. If you would have took MVP odds for Lamar Jackson, I think at one point in time it was all the way up to 7,500. It is now a negative 10,000. So not worth your money anymore. But Lamar Jackson, it's pretty evident at this point. He didn't really need to beat the Dolphins that bad after beating the 49ers breaks off. But the Ravens, they come in there. That is a team that no one wants to face. The Baltimore Ravens look like they have it figured out offensively and defensively. Doesn't matter if you have the speed of the Miami Dolphins or the proficiency of the 49ers. That team is going to give you a whirlwind of problems. And Lamar Jackson, he's just so impressive how he uses his legs now. That, to me, is how you mature as a dual threat quarterback in the NFL. You start looking at your legs as, yes, they're weapons I could break out at any time, but I can choose to bring them out and break defenses. That's what you saw Lamar Jackson do with the 49ers. He knew that if I can use my legs at opportunistic times, pretty soon they're going to have to start moving these formations around, which is going to set up X, Y, and Z. And that's exactly what they did. So Lamar Jackson, I think it's pretty clear right now, MVP frontrunner, as he should be, as the Ravens continue to dominate here towards the end of the NFL regular season. Another team with a dual threat quarterback who the team's in a bit of a conundrum now because he's playing well. And I don't know if they necessarily wanted him to play well, but they're sitting there with one of the best records they've had since he's joined the roster. Justin Fields out there with Etsy and Eberflus in Chicago. The story just gets harder to figure out as now you're looking at Justin Fields as a guy who possibly can be your future star quarterback, but you also have picks that are essentially from the Panthers that you can go ahead and get arguably even more value than you did last year, offsetting that number one pick. So if you're Poles, who as hard as I am on the Bears front office, I do like Poles. He's actually spending his money, something that Chicago struggled to do forever for whatever reason. He's actually in the mindset to try to build a winning team. Well, how do you think they go forward using this one? Do you offload Justin Fields and get more picks, or do you roll with it?
I don't understand. Even if you do move on, even before we get on from moving on from Justin, you said and argued, he needed some help. So you went out and got DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
You bring him in, and you've seen flashes and have shown and have seen like what he is capable of, but yet there are still other pieces around here that he needs help to do. And you want to move away from that because a shiny new toy? I understand Caleb Williams. I get that to his own right, but you will be putting him in the same situation without help or with the same help. So what are you like? You're not. That's not moving your position in any way, shape, or form. If I'm them, if you can get the pick that you want, secure, other pieces to help build and everything like that, and it's for the right price, then yeah, move back and acquire more pieces to help this young guy. Get a offensive coordinator in there that can help him to take his next game to the next level. Or if you don't get the picks and everything like that, then take Marvin.
Mm-hmm. It's tough, right? Because you look at what the Bears did with that Panthers trade, and it's like, man, they really did well. They turned that into a lot, and the same argument exists here, where you have the chance to possibly even get more for what you did last time you traded around with the first round pick. So it's be a tough conversation. It seemed pretty clear to me, but as this gets closer towards the end of the stretch here, we're seeing more and more teams that would be desperate to have a guy like Justin Fields so they can start competing now because they don't have that high draft pick. You might be able to flip it into a lot. I don't like the idea of moving on from Fields because my fears are the exact same as yours. You get a Caleb Williams in there, Drake May, or maybe even like Jaden McDaniels, a Heisman winner. If that doesn't pan out, that is more rebuilding for a team that has been bullied out of and to really just being belittled into the powerhouse they used to be. You might just be resetting the deck once again without actually taking steps forward. Yes, you're spending money. Yes, you're getting more trade picks, but it's what you do with those picks. At a certain point, the picks you pick up, those got to be the ones you use to actually build that roster together.
You have to develop. Like that's what coaching is. You can't put it on the kid. Oftentimes of, oh yeah, he's this and like, no, like your ability to coach, your ability to evaluate and get the best out of the kids. And maybe y'all might need to, look inward and hire new scouts who understand, what they're supposed to be looking at or how it can translate at the next level, or bringing in coaches that don't have a problem. It doesn't matter, what type of kid it is, or they can get through the kid and help the kid and bring the best and put forth his best foot on the field. It's not always about, oh yeah, we just can't do nothing with it. No, you're incompetent of actually getting the kid to where he's supposed to be. So I don't think they should get another quarterback. You have a good quarterback there. I like Fields a lot. He brings a lot to the game. He's a mobile quarterback that can win games with his legs if need be. I'm not so sure you can really find what he does and his distinctive things in this draft. The closest thing that you might just say is Daniels, but even still, like you're restarting for a whole another 2-3 years because you are another rookie quarterback that has to understand how to play the game at the NFL level, understanding coverages, understanding front. Everything's quicker, faster, stronger, and it can disguise way better. So you will be shooting yourself in the foot if you do that. Why not give him more tools, bulk up the line, help the defense out and everything like that. They're right there. They got the keys, to do it. Is just making sure that they take the right steps. But you never know, what some people are thinking or might do with things, and that's the craziest part about the NFL.
Yeah, and to me, that's what I would love to be in the war rooms and hear that phone ring just to hear what is the number. How serious are you about giving all these picks over for Justin Fields? Because to me, you want to keep him because you're already pretty young. I think he's proved a lot. He has certain aspects that you already know you're not going to find in your next guy. The what he's able to do with his legs, they're flat out unique. That's why he's been on so many highlight reels in the NFL, despite not having the passing numbers as Mahomes or even Lamar Jackson, or even the record of those guys. He's on there all the time because he just does things that no other quarterback can do in the league right now. You saw it when they beat the Falcons. He got sacked twice, well behind the line of scrimmage twice, managed to get out of both of them, one from behind, one a leg tackle, and runs it for a first down. Those are the plays that you're going to miss. Like you will not, even if you get Drake May or Caleb Williams, you might not be in a situation like that. But say if you are in a third and long, I don't see anybody else with that scrambling ability. So I think you hold on to him. I think you still have a plethora of picks to continue to build this team to get better. But this Bears team just has to start being over 500. That's winning to me as a culture. It's something that all the greatest teams have. Once it's kind of built into that DNA, you know how to close out games. The Bears have never really had that DNA built within them. They've go to all the rivalry games against the Packers. They haven't been able to figure that out. And this would be a good opportunity for them. So I really think this game between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers to end the regular season, this is going to decide a lot about the future. I think if Justin Fields finds a way to beat a Packers team when it doesn't really matter. The picks are pretty much locked up at this point. You're not going to move your position at all. It's basically just go out there and play for pride. I think if Justin Fields can have one of his better games, find a way to beat the Packers in what is currently, I don't want to say a hot, but a frisky, above average team in Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, that could be momentum shifting for the Chicago Bears' future. And I think it would add to whether they're going to keep him or not. But what surprises me is keeping Eberflus around. To me,
I got a question for you. If they do decide to move on from him, regardless of however he plays and everything like that, where do you think a landing spot, where he would go to?
That's a good question. I'd have to look at teams that have a lot to offer. It might be. Let's take a look here, real quick. He could go. I mean,
I'm thinking probably
Patriots would be an option. I don't think Bill Belichick would necessarily want that in his offense, but who knows with him if he's going to be there next season. Maybe that changes things. Sam Howell doesn't look like the guy for the Commanders. He's a little bit up and down. Buccaneers might move on from Baker Mayfield. Raiders even. Yeah, I was going to say Raiders could use Justin Fields. The thing is, find a team that wouldn't want Justin Fields is really the question. If they have their quarterback of the future already, they don't want him. If they're a team that's still looking, they'll take Justin Fields in a heartbeat. I think to me that's what says how good Justin Fields can still be.
The league is a copy and paste league, as I said before. And with the success of more so of the dual threat quarterback, your Jalen Hurts, your Lamar Jackson, I think, if you pair Justin Fields up, this is just me thinking, if you pair Justin Fields up with Robinson down in Atlanta, you got Kyle Pitts and you got Drake on the outside. That's a scary offensive side.
You said on the Falcons?
Yes. That's a
Bijan Robinson in the mix too. You can hand the ball off too.
Where like that. So a situation kind of like that, I think, would be just, a fresh start and everything like that. You got weapons around them. I would say a little bit more easier conference than the NFC North. It's a lot colder up there. He would be in the NFC South, going against Tampa Bay, going against the Saints in Carolina. So I think a destination like that, I think the Raiders are really in a pickle, and if they, they don't really like nobody that they can really see or make things changes, and they want to put, a piece into the next step. You got a young quarterback here. You got, Devontae Adams on one side. Jacoby, came alive, and we don't know what the running back situation is, but it won't be terrible. It'll be enough, and then a good positive defense. So I think teams like what that need the next piece or a better piece to fit to help them go. I think they could be eyeing that. It just all depends on what the Bears' asking price is for them.
Yeah, and that is the Justin Fields conundrum. We just named a bunch of teams that if they don't have a guy that is certainly their guy, they're probably going to want Justin Fields and be willing to give up a lot for it. And that leaves
would
half
he
the
be tied
league.
with the number one pick, though? Like, is that a trade?
With Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden McDaniels, there's enough guys on that list that I think would love to have that number one pick. And then that gives you the opportunity. I think with Justin Fields, I think they still might give him away and get a bunch more picks in return. And then you keep that number one pick and you can get Drake May, you can get Jaden McDaniels, or you can get
if they do go away from Justin Fields, who would you like to see in Chicago, since you're a Bears fan?
I'd like to see Fields one, but if they happen to go that route, it's hard for me not to look at Jaden McDaniels. He's number 3 on most people's mock drafts. I'd have to figure out why people don't like him more than they do Drake May, or they That's a good question, because I think I would. I don't think I would take Caleb Williams as much as he seems like the clear answer there. A, he seems to still be a Packers fan, but B, Drake May or Jade McDaniels seems like they'd make a good NFL transition as well. If I'm going to go that far, I'm breaking out the tape to really figure out what separates those guys, but they all got the deep ball. Caleb Williams probably has the best pocket awareness, so maybe that's why you go that route, because he is so mobile. We talked about Copycat League. He can give you a little bit of that dual threat, not to the same level as Fields, but maybe he's got a little bit of accuracy, so we don't have to worry about that as much. But you're probably looking at one of those three. It's a pretty close coin toss to me. If I'm looking for dual threat, Caleb Williams. If I'm looking for just an accurate pinpoint laser passer, I'm probably going to take Jade McDaniels for the deep threats. But we do got to go ahead and throw out the break there. That is pretty much the Bears conundrum, what to do with Justin Fields and the number 1 pick and the number 2 pick on top of that as well. So they got plenty of options. It's a good spot to be. Could be a lot worse. You could be in the Panthers situation where you're looking at all the picks you gave away that you could desperately use in that situation. We got to throw the break here. Don't Punt Hour with Demorne Pearsonell on the Allo VIP line. One more segment up next. Don't go anywhere.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale now at Ticketmaster.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
School taught you all about the 4 seasons, spring, summer, and so on. And then there's the way we really tell what time of year it is in sports seasons. Football season, baseball season, or off season. But what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now. And now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolateseason.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly sunny skies. We'll see an afternoon high of around 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with patchy fog is possible. Late, we'll see a low around 20. And tomorrow, more patchy, even freezing fog possible as well, especially in the morning. Then mainly sunny skies with the high around 35. Meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the Don't Punt Hour here on Ticket Weeknights with the host, as always, DeMornay Pearsonell on the Allo VIP line. We got a little bit of time here, but if you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685 is the Sartor Heyman text line. And again, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 951. Watch the streams on there. Rewind the streams. You can start at any point you want to. We talked a lot of college football, bowl games, of course, some NFL. But to kind of wrap things up here, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the college football playoffs, particularly the playoffs, because it was insane. I don't know if you were aware of it, but the ads seemed to go a little bit longer than usual. For the Rose Bowl alone, you had about 61 minutes, 18 seconds of ad time. For the Sugar Bowl, 57 minutes, 10 seconds of ad time. It typically starts at 5 p.m. So we started at 5 p.m. every single year to start those kind of college football playoff games. And it got over at 12:51 Eastern time. So from 5 to 12:51. So near 1 a.m. is how long you had to stay up to watch both the Sugar Bowl and the Rose Bowl. How much does that throw off your viewing experience? And as a player, how much do those media timeouts actually affect you guys?
It doesn't throw you off too much. It makes you antsy a little bit. You got to kind of keep warm as a player because, some TV timeouts can last a little bit longer. They're somewhat annoying, but, they come with the game. It happens. You kind of get used to it.
So is there just a signal out there telling you media timeout, get back, or how does that work?
Yeah, the refs will usually say it, or there'll be a guy typically wearing like orange gloves, or kind of have those airplane conductor things that'll kind of get somebody's attention, and they'll step on the field around the 20-25 yard line with like a little box to signal it's a TV timeout, so they'll cut away and whatnot, and usually he'll signal to the head ref, like he'll give them a countdown that's on their count, and he'll step off the field, and then everything resumes as the ref begins to wind his hand and everything like that. That's when typically it flashes back on the TV.
You guys are a lot more patient than the actual fans, because I was losing my mind watching those. I felt
I feel like on the field it goes quicker.
That's probably true.
Just because we'll be on the sideline, they'll be talking over a play. For instance, like that last play with Texas and everything like that, or the one that the receiver scored over in the one he called in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that they talked about a TV timeout. Okay, we're thinking this and everything like that, just to kind of give extra time preparation. Is kind of still in a little timeout while you can. You can't really come off the field, and the coaches can't really come on the field. But if you kind of meet over by the numbers, the head refs will allow it and everything like that. So they actually go quicker than you may think. It doesn't seem too long until somebody, well, we've been out here for a little minute, and then and then they get right back into it. So It's not the worst thing. I know a lot of people at home are sitting in front of the TV, getting snacks and everything like that. So to me it goes quick. I don't really seem like it's ever really too long, honestly.
Fair enough. I get some of the points you're saying. It's a good time for break, get snacks, go to the bathroom. I don't need to get up 20 times, within an hour for snacks and to go to the bathroom. But, NIL era, money's coming in. It's getting funneled out through the players for a little bit at least. So at least I don't feel as bad that all that money is just getting soaked up by the NCAA. With that being said, though, that is going to go ahead and wrap up the Don't Punt Hour with the Morning Pearsonell calling in on the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. Shout out to Mornay Pearsonell. First time talking to him on the new year. I will talk to him again tomorrow. I'll see you later, Mornay.
See you.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for the Don't Punt Hour. Don't go anywhere. We should have some more content up for you here shortly. We'll wrap it up here, though. Appreciate you listening. Talk to you in a little bit.